Hello, it's the Never Know Matt Show. So today, I was going to talk about questions, and I made a couple of videos just now, and it just didn't work out. So I'm going to talk about being present to this moment, here and now. Some people might say that we don't, that, you have to worry about the future, you have to think about the past, right? I say this. We really only have the second that we're living in right now. Like as I'm making this video, by the time you watch it, it's going to be a different moment for you. But as you're watching it right now, you could take a deep breath and you could notice that time really only moves forward at 1 second at a time. You can only live 1 second per second. You only have 1 second to live per second, right? We only have 1 minute to live per second. We only have 1 day to live per day, right? So I guess as a practical tool, we could say, okay, what am I willing to do today? What is this tiny thing I'm willing to do today to improve the quality of my life? Okay, that's the timer. What am I willing to do today? And it might be a little thing. Let's say for me, I'm thinking about going and starting to do acting auditions, right? So it would be like, what am I willing to do today? Like, I'll go to the city and try to find an acting audition. No. What I can do instead is I can begin to Google search for open auditions. That is a great first step. Or I could, let's say, I could brainstorm some first steps that I could take to find out about auditions or find out about acting classes, stuff like that. I could brainstorm, right? So anyway, the point of this is to withdraw attention. This is an idea from Eckhart Tolle. Withdraw attention from past and future and narrow it down to this moment here and now. Sometimes it's very difficult to narrow our focus down because we're like, oh my God, future, past, future, past, future, past, future, past, future, past, future, past. Okay. Sometimes that happens. So basically it's this. If you can't narrow it down to that we're only living in 1 day increments, let's narrow it down to this week that we're in, right? So let's take it from a week down to a day. Today is the only day. Today is the only day. It could be our last day. You don't know. You don't know. It could be our loved one's last day. We don't know. But there's no assurance in that. So let's appreciate it and 1 day increments, right? Live in 1 day increments. And then when we got that down, let's narrow it down to an hour increment. I'm only in this is the only hour I have. This hour that I'm in right now. What time is it? It's 5, it's 4, let's say it's 4 o'clock. From 4 to 5, that's the only hour I have to live in. That's the only time I can do anything is within this hour. Once we narrow down the hour, let's narrow it down to the minute. I only have this minute from 4 o'clock to 4:01, all right? And then once we narrow it down to the minute, let's start narrowing it down to 10-second increments, right? 10-second increments. So let's say I'm 4 minutes and 10 seconds right now. Here I am in this increment, right? Of 10 seconds, right? Now I'm in my next 10-second increment, and now I'm going to 1 second increments. Breathing as the time passes and doing something that matters to me and hopefully matters to you as you're watching this. Narrow the focus, right? And do what you have to do. Okay? You'll notice that as you do it in 1 second increments, it's not as difficult. Whatever it is. Let's say I'm working out, I'm at the gym. 1 lift at a time, 1 push-up at a time, right? It becomes much easier. Like, we don't have to like stress. You could work fast. but remain present. Remain focused on here and now. And plan for the future and take action for the future.